Welcome back to Digital Communication and Virtual Teams. I'm Yogesh, and today we are digging into something most digital teams struggle with, choosing the right communication tools.
And I'm Lily. From Slack to Zoom, Notion to Microsoft Teams, email to WhatsApp, the choices are endless. But too many tools or the wrong ones can be more damaging than helpful.
Exactly. The right tools can supercharge your team's flow. The wrong ones, they create confusion, stress, and digital fatigue.
Part 1. The problem with tool overload. Let's start with the elephant in the room. Tool overload. We've all been in teams where communication happens in 5 different apps at once.
It's exhausting. You check your email, then Slack, then WhatsApp, then some project management dashboard, then back to email again. Nothing feels central.
And when that happens, people start dropping the ball, not because they are lazy, but because the system is broken.
Tool overload often happens when leaders adopt new tools without clear strategy or team input. Let's try this becomes the anthem, and chaos follows.
Part 2. Synchronous versus asynchronous tools. Let's talk about a key distinction, synchronous versus asynchronous tools.
Synchronous means real time, like video calls, phone calls, or instant messaging.
Asynchronous means there's a delay. You send a message and the other person can respond later. Email, discussion boards, or project tools like Trello are great examples.
The mistake many teams make is treating all communication as urgent, defaulting to real-time tools for everything.
That leads to constant interruptions, shallow thinking, and burnout. Asynchronous tools are essential for deep work and thoughtful collaboration.
Part 3. Defining communication purpose before you pick the tool. Before we recommend any tools, here's the golden rule. Define the purpose before you pick the platform.
Ask, what kind of communication are we having? Is it a quick update, a collaborative decision, a brainstorm, a documentation trail?
For example, brainstorming might be best on Miro or a live whiteboard. Decision-making might need a video call or even a shared document for comments.
Status updates. Probably better in a project management tool than a meeting. The more clarity you have about why you're communicating, the easier the how becomes.
Part 4. The core tool categories every team needs. Let's now break down the categories of tools virtual teams need. Ideally, just one in each bucket.
Category 1. Instant messaging or chat. Tools like Slack, Microsoft Teams, or Discord. Great for quick questions, informal chats, and fast alignment.
Category 2. Video conferencing. Zoom, Google Meet, or Microsoft Teams use sparingly and strategically for discussions that benefit from tone and facial cues.
Category 3. Project and task management. Think Trello, Asana, ClickUp, or Monday.com. This is where actual work gets tracked and moved forward.
Category 4. Knowledge management. Notion, Confluence, or Google Docs. These tools store shared knowledge, SOPs, and documentation.
And finally, long-form communication, email or internal newsletters. Good for things that require context, thought, or announcements.
Part 5. Avoiding tool creep. Let's talk about tool creep. That's when tools slowly pile up because no one's auditing them or setting clear guidelines.
It happens more often than you think. Suddenly you're using 3 platforms to track tasks and none of them are up to date.
Solution? Do a quarterly tool audit. Ask your team, what tools are we actually using? What's redundant? What's confusing?
Also, document tool purpose. Literally write down, we use Slack for X, Notion for Y, Zoom for Z. Remove the guesswork.
Part 6. Tool selection criteria. Let's offer some practical criteria when choosing tools.
1. Ease of use. If a tool isn't intuitive, your team won't use it, no matter how powerful it is.
2. Integration. It should work well with your other tools. Seamless integration saves time.
3. Security and compliance. Especially for industries like healthcare or finance, data protection is critical.
4. Mobile experience. Teams today work on the go. Make sure the tool doesn't break down on mobile.
5. Affordability. Don't assume expensive means better. Many great tools have free or low-cost tiers.
Part 7. Onboarding and tool adoption. Now, let's talk about adoption. Choosing a tool is half the battle. Getting people to use it well is the other half.
Start with training. Even if the tool is easy, don't assume everyone's on the same level. Offer demos, office hours, and walkthroughs.
Also, lead by example. If leaders are active in the tool, the team will follow. If leaders ignore it, it dies.
Also, gamification works. Celebrate milestones like first 100 tasks completed in Asana or top collaborator of the week.
And most importantly, listen to feedback. If the tool is slowing people down, switch. Don't stick with it out of pride or inertia.
Part 8. Customizing the stack for your team.
Like you said, Lily, every team is different. A creative team might need collaborative design tools like Figma. A dev team might need GitHub and code review platforms.
Remote-first startups may lean more heavily on async tools. Hybrid teams may need more bridging tools for meetings and file sharing.
The trick is to keep the stack as simple as possible, but as comprehensive as necessary.
Avoid shiny object syndrome. Just because a new tool is trending on Product Hunt doesn't mean your team needs it.
Part 9. Real-world team examples.
I worked with a non-profit recently that was overwhelmed with tools. They were using Zoom, Teams, WhatsApp, and Google Chat all at once.
Ouch. What did they do?
We mapped out their communication flows and consolidated. Zoom for meetings, Teams for daily chat, and Google Docs for collaboration. Productivity shot up in 2 weeks.
I saw fintech startups simplify their 9-tool mess into 3. Slack for quick updates, Notion for documentation, and Linear for engineering tasks. The clarity transformed morale.
Part 10. Closing thoughts. To wrap this up, don't let tools run your team. Use them with clarity, purpose, and discipline.
And remember, fewer, smarter tools almost always beat more scattered tools.
In our next episode, we'll be talking about overcoming the challenges of remote work, from loneliness to accountability and more.
Thank you, Lily. And to our listeners. And as always, remember, don't forget, good communication isn't what you say, it's what others understand. If you found this episode of Corporate Communication useful, don't forget to join us, Google at leadershipacademy.tagbizsutra.com. Do share it with your friends and colleagues and leave your review. Until next time, go audit your tool stack and keep communicating with purpose.